What's going on, guys? Good morning. What's up, Tiny? Happy to see you. All right. This lo-fi jingle bells going on here. I'm looking for some different music. Wow, such change. All right, it's a little bit more comic. I can't even get that like lighting set up. I feel like I'm like so washed out on the on the situation. I gotta get like I have all this like studio lighting and stuff. I haven't taken the time to set all that stuff up yet. Got it from like way back in the day. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Kind of a weird day in the market. Definitely like I was trading stocks earlier and I just couldn't find anything that I wanted to trade. It was basically NW or was it NWE? The NUWE, I think it was. In any case, it was the only thing that looked like it was moving to me, and just the entries and exits weren't obvious, so I never took a trade on it. And then as far as the ES goes, I was actually just looking at this, did like a test trade and got caught in this like this downward trend here. But basically, I'm looking at the ES is falling again today. We did ramp up a little bit towards like 4,015, but it's just been falling since. And this 4,000 level, or 400 on the S or on the SPY, is just a super psychological level. I know that you've probably heard other traders say the same thing, and it's true. It's just like I think people are really going to be looking for it to hold above or below that level. Now, if you look down at this though, on the ES, you can see that we've come down and we've tested this 39.85 level, and we bounced off it just about every single time. Now we are getting some like declines here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get a flip over. One thing though, so we've got the TOS up, and we mentioned that we weren't going to be using TOS anymore, and that we're just going to be focused on Tradeovate. And it's just I can't ignore how clear and clean these charts are. Like, it's just so much easier to determine direction here. You see we're down 1,300 and 1250. We took a awful trade on this one, and it like almost panned out, and then ripped down. But yeah. So I guess our game plan today. So we still have to pay for a reset on our evaluation, which we haven't done yet. Game plan today is focusing on scalps. As it is with most days, there's just not a lot of like breakout trade opportunities most of the time, but there is decent opportunity to take like 1-2 ticks, like right there. This might be a bad trade, but we saw essentially this dip on this candle, and we're looking for a rip back off that dip. May not get it. I know I'm trading against the trend here, going long, but I just think that we're going to continue to see bounces. So we did get that trade. That brought back like $200+ or so, somewhere in that range. I think 187.50 actually. But essentially, like what's happened here and what's happening right now at this moment. Now this could actually be a reversal, but what's happened here is it'll keep coming really, really close to a trend reversal and then rejecting. You can see that happen here. And it happened here as well, where it's coming really, really close to that trend reversal, but then just doesn't get it. This candle has 17 or 10 seconds left in this candle. I we're a ways off from. So like this 35 crossed above this 26 a long time ago, and it still hasn't trend reversed since. We got this possible crossover going on here. It does kind of look like we're going to pop up, but that's also what the last test of the trend reversal looked like as well. We'd want to see the 9 get above the 12. Once we see the 9 get above the 12, then we can actually have a little bit stronger definition of a trend reversal. Without that, though, I don't trust trend reversals, and I think that I'm essentially looking at fake outs. And one thing about TOS that I really love about their charts is that the indicators are always visible because they overlay on top of the candles, and they don't like disapprove when when there's a candle on it. So we get this pullback here. So what we'd want to see on the next candle would be a 1 minute candle to make a new high. And then that would really give us a little bit more solidification of a trend reversal. Currently sitting negative 1.4 on the TTM. We've been slowly stacking up the TTM for a cyan switch, but it's not strong enough yet. It's not determined enough to swap around. So, hey, what is up, Adam? Man, it is so good to see you. I'm so happy that you're here. Been a couple of days since I've seen you. Yeah, I get to trade all day. That's cool. Tanya, what do you do? I'm just curious. If you don't mind my asking, you don't have to answer. Like, please don't feel pressure to answer. But it just kind of, it sounds like you work from home, so I was just curious. We get a red on the TTM, dipping back towards the downside. Gonna take a quick short straight. I was hoping to get in on that resistance line. I'll take it right there. A little too much of a take on that, I think. I'm gonna go try and bust this out to 1 tick. See if we can get filled off that 1 tick. Okay, we did. It fell way more than I thought it was going to. This music's nice. What do y'all think of this one? I'm gonna save this one. How could I save this whole thing? I just want to save this whole album. So, how you guys been doing today? By the way, please like and subscribe. And if the music's too loud, let me know. So, definitely getting like support off this area here. This is kind of like near that 39.85 area. We got this like double wick down here at the bottom. And if you look at this, like, look how many times we've bounced in this area. Like, we bounced here a bunch of times, and then we've come down. We hit this wick quite a few times. And earlier today, our low was right in this area, right where these wicks are hitting. I'm actually going to remove that second wick. Continuing to drop. So, how have you guys been doing on trades? I test electronics for Goodwill. That's awesome, dude. That's super cool. That's awesome, dude. 1 sec. BRB. Out here. I got morning sniffles. Small red day again. Yeah, man. Adam, I've been having a really, really difficult time trading since last Friday. Basically, since the market tanked to the downside, it's been really, really challenging. It's false breaks after false breaks. Actually, was up $1,182 or something like that in our evaluation on Friday, and we didn't, or I should say Monday. Yeah, Monday. We didn't walk away because essentially we made $313 like right off the bat, and then I just overtraded because like I was like, oh well, I want the stream to be longer than 10 minutes, but the reality of it is that I should have actually stopped trading right then and there because I hit my profit target and then some, and potentially walked away from the stream in its entirety, or just didn't trade, just don't trade and just do analysis. But like frankly, that's what I should have done, and I didn't do it, and just completely overtraded and put myself into a position to where I was on tilt like the whole day. Brought myself back a couple of times and like down like to about like down 300 or so, and then just ended the day just tanking, just super bad. And I was like, you know what, I just gotta cut it. And then Tuesday we attempted the same thing and just did terrible yesterday, and we ended up failing the evaluation. And so now we've got to do another reset and start over, but I'm not willing to do that today. And the reason why I'm not willing to do that today is just because I believe that I need a mental reset before I do a pay reset. I absolutely believe like trading is like such a huge mental game. And I just think that like maintaining your mental state of mind is probably one of the biggest challenges to trading as a whole. There's a lot of psychology and a lot of psychological mental toughness that goes with it, and frankly that there's a lot of growth that I need in that area, and I'm doing what I can there, but the fact of the matter is it's just really, really it's a challenge to change who you are as a person in order to get good at this. And I think that that is like that's definitely something that I'm really, really working on tremendously. It's absolutely tremendous. So we got like morning sniffles. So we did get that like trend reverse here. We did get that bounce off that 39.80 level. And we are looking at a possible crossover. This one looks a little bit more solid to me than some of the other ones. Here's the biggest reason. The 9 did cross above the 12. I'm going to actually put this on a +8. And then I'm going to look for a pullback to around the 50 and try and get in right there. How much time we got on this candle? 15 seconds. Joining the bid. I was hoping to join the bid earlier or like lower. That's the pullback I was looking for. It just was taking so long. I wasn't sure that we were going to actually get it on the same candle. So now we're looking up to come and test this resistance level here. Okay, so we got 8 ticks off that trade at 5 contracts. So pretty good move on that. Okay, look for another pullback to about this resistance level here. Getting a test of the VWAP. Looks like we're just going to rip right through the VWAP here very shortly. It looks like we're coming up for a test of the 200 moving average, the 200 simple, as well as the VWAP. Very, very close together. Joining the bid here. Got in. Now looking for that test of the VWAP. Our sell order is right there at the VWAP. Bit of a pullback. A little more than I wanted to see, but we do got cyan going on the TTM. New candle forming. Look for that test. 1 minute pullback. This will be a nice entry point, maybe off the 50 if it pulls back that far. Hopefully it doesn't. I want to see this be a hammer candle at the worst, and a green at the best. So okay, there's the 50. It's a nice entry point right there. Look for that retest. Man, these like morning sniffles. I can tell that fall is almost here. 9 and 12. So we did get this crossover here. We get the 9-12 above the 50. Then I think we'll see a much larger rip on the day. This next candle has to go green. If it doesn't, then we got to cut this trade. TTM now at 4. We went 2, 3, 4. It's pretty solid numbers on the TTM for momentum. Now the real thing is, is this resistance level going to hold super, super tough, or is it? Are we just going to break right through it? It looks like it might hold. We've got 15 seconds left on this candle. So that candle should have broke. Should have been a 1 minute candle to make a new high. It did not. However, still holding this trade because now we're at 5 with a green dot on the TTM. So I think that we're going to rip up at least bare minimum, test the VWAP again. We got pretty close. We got to break this wick here and run up towards the 200. I could easily see smashing into resistance at the 200. This absolutely would have been a great entry off of this red candle. So this green candle right here down at this zone would have been an awesome entry point. TTM cooling a little bit more than I want to see. Still on cyan, but not as heavy of a move. So we're at 5. Okay, as long as it stays above 5. Come on. This is a long time, but okay, so 9 just crossed above 50. That's a good sign. 9, 12, and 35, and 26 are in the right placement. 9, 12 above the 50. 9, 12, 35 above 50. We're going up. I could break even on this trade. Looking to make about 500 on that, which we got. Okay, so we made back the 1,300 or so that we were down. Now we're only down 6,250 on the day, and about to get another rip to the upside. Looks like gonna drop this down to 3 ticks and look to join the bid right here. Probably should recognize that was a brand new candle. So not a good move on my part. 6 on TTM. Look for one more retest of the VWAP. Only a break even on this trade. All right, we got that. Now we're up 125 on the day. Okay, so here's the rip through the VWAP that we're looking for. Wow, what a rip. Ripped all the way up through the 200. Way more powerful than I expected that to be. Moving this to about 5 ticks. We're currently at 4,000. That's going to be a really tough resistance point there. But with the 9 above the 12, if the 35 now gets above the 50, then I think that we're going to see that just that upward momentum that's going to really propel this market upward, which we really need. I think that just traders need confidence in a direction. Honestly, like if it was just obvious that we're just going to continue to go down forever, then that's fine. Traders just going to continue short. But it's just well, I'm kicking butt. Yeah, my first trade was like a loss of $1,500. So I guess it's a good thing. That we were able to turn that into a green day on the sim. Yeah, well, down 125 for this session. But we'll get it back. Yeah, you'll get it back. Patience is a virtue, and patience is something that I sometimes struggle with. Speaking of patience, Elite Trader Funding, the program that we were using to earn funding in the futures market, got rid of their 10-day thing, and now you can earn funding in as little as 5 days. Like five days, if you can hit the profit target, you can be funded. It's so crazy to me. Just a week of trading. It's so nuts, so fast. By the way, guys, if you want to check them out, y'all can check out Elite Trader Funding. There's a link in the description below. So if you jump over to Elite Trader Funding and use promo code JSBSC, this is the last day for it. They will give you 50% off for life on any of the evaluations that you see here, with the exception of the fast track evaluations. So you can get a 50K evaluation account for $82.50. Compare that to like something like Top Step, where it is $165, and you don't have as much drawdown and stuff like that. Although the drawdown actually might be the same, but you can get this for $82.50 for life. Compare that with like something like Top Step, where it is like that $165, or even if you get like 20% off, which is a really common promo that they have over there. This is significantly less expensive. You can also take 8 positions, so you could really size up here if you wanted to. But for the 50K eval, I think this is one of the best deals on the market. But you could actually get funded all the way up to 300K. Currently, the one that I've been working on is the 100K static evaluation. Although I may consider switching over to the 50K evaluation, just simply because I could take larger size and less ticks. So this is something that I personally have been considering for a while now. But today's the last day of that 50% off. Just use promo code JSBEST and you can take advantage of that. What if you need the 10 days? I mean, you can, Tiny, there's no time limit on it. It's just they have a minimum. So Top Step has a minimum of 10 trading days. Usually, I think Top Step stretches theirs across 2 evaluations, so it's like a 5-day plus another 5-day. Elite Trader Funding is simply 5 days on the evaluation right now. I don't know if they're going to change that back to the 10 days that they had. But right now their minimum is only 5. That's new. That's not something that they were doing prior. But you can take the 10 days if you want. You can take 30 days if you want. I mean, honestly, like, if you were to grind up at like $100 a day or something like that, something kind of on the smaller side, you can do it in 10, 20, or 30 days or something like that, and it'll be fine. You can take really as long as you want. One thing that is kind of nice is that if you did break a rule or you need to pay for a reset or something like that, if you can wait till your next billing cycle, they'll just reset you as part of it if you have broken rule. So that's kind of nice. So that way you don't end up paying additional money if you don't want to or need to. All right, so we got a rejection at that 200 moving average, and that's what we were expecting, was that 200 moving average rejection. That was that candle that we were talking about where it just ripped straight up through it. But like we said, 4,000 would be a really strong resistance. Excuse me. That 4,000 was really strong resistance, and that 200 moving average was also a very strong resistance point. Gonna take a look at a 5-minute chart. So on the 5, we're still very, very down on the TTM. I mean, we're -9 currently on the TTM on a 5-minute chart, -10, closer to -10. So we'd want to actually see this kind of do what happened here, where we did get the cyan switch on the 5-minute candle. And you can see when we got that cyan switch on the 5-minute candle, we went from 39.80 to the high of the day of like 40.17. There's a pretty good amount of points. This is a really stressful song, and I'm getting rid of the song. Is there a way I can just be like, never play this thing again? Ugh. I gotta shake that energy out. Ugh. That was awful. That was terrible. All right, jumping back in, switching back over to. Oh, by the way, so on a 5-minute chart here, what we want to see is a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. We'd also want to see the 912, essentially all the standard indicators that we look for. Switching back to the 1-minute chart and taking a look here. Okay, so it looks like we're continuing to the downside. Got a really big upwick on this one, which may indicate a reversal here real fast. Just like a real quick reversal. But I'm more inclined to say that this is going to be short. Might actually get short here. I wanted to get short on the green, but it didn't work. And we're looking for 5 ticks on that, apparently. I actually wanted 3. Let's change this to 3. Okay, so we got that up 312.50 on the day in the sim. It's so much easier to be profitable in TOS, I'm not going to lie. And a lot of that has to do with fees. So, you know, when you do trade futures, they do charge fees. Even TOS has fees in futures, but the fees that they have are pretty minimal by comparison. They're about half the price, that, at least what I've found just by doing math. I haven't seen a fee schedule for it, though, and I think a fee schedule would be really helpful for TOS. But you also need a ton of money. Like you need like $250,000, I think, in order to get funded in the futures market on TOS. I don't know for sure, but I was just reading a couple blogs, and that was like essentially the suggested level. So I don't know, and I have not found concrete, hard evidence on TOS's website about that type of stuff. So looks like we're getting another test of this trend reversal, although in TTM we're still in the cooling off period. That it's more or less the candle that's looking like it. I think that we may come down though and test this 39.80 level and then bounce up off there. This does seem like a pretty solid support level though on the day. Short here. There we go. Up 500 on the day. Took 3 ticks on the short. Wow, absolutely could have gone for a larger size, but our goal really is to I want to take exactly how I'm trading on the TOS simulator and apply it to the evaluation, because what I'm doing here, I mean, my accuracy is pretty much the same there, but one of the biggest differences is that I cut trades more aggressively on the simulator because you know, I'm only allowed to have so much of a drawdown, and because of that, you know, I tend to cut trades almost too aggressively. Too short here. Maybe I should have gone long. Okay, we got that up 687.50. TTM is indicating to more downside movement. This 12.26 crossover here to the downside with the 9.12 facing towards the downside, indicating more downward pressure, more downward movement. I said pressure. Got that pressure. Yeah. So how are y'all doing? I'm just curious. Are you guys bullish or bearish on the market? All that type of stuff. Um, I'm just wondering how y'all are doing. By the way, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because that really does help the channel grow. Since we started doing this stream here, we've gained about 20 subscribers. Really, really happy about that. I want to thank all 111 of you. You guys really do make my day. I do show up here for you guys, and I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I really genuinely do. So I just want to say thank you guys for that. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for ringing the bell for notifications. And thank you for liking the videos. It really does make a difference. And it actually, honestly, I think that at a certain point, if you guys weren't showing up here, I think that I might stop showing up here too. And so I really I appreciate you guys because it is inspiring. It makes me want to get up in the morning and show up and hang out with you guys. I really do appreciate it. I genuinely do. Let's jump back into these charts. Whoa, nice big dump on that one. All right. Looks like we may continue to push downward. So we broke through the support level that was from like 2 o'clock in the morning. We got this low here of 39.6450 from what day is this? It just tells me a time. Where's the date? Well, at some point there was a low there, and we're gonna look at that and use that as a technical level. Big bounce off of that momentum candle to the downside. It's funny because I actually considered going long there, but I didn't take it just because I was essentially looking to see if we're just going to continue to break down because we broke through this support level that I had drawn at some point earlier today. We got a long way to go for any sort of trend reversal. So I don't want to trade against the trend necessarily. Although we're getting a flip to the upside, we may see a few more green candles. Yeah, no worries, Tiny. Gonna be done for now and just watch to re-gauge the cycle trend. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Got it back green. Good job. Not liking how I traded. Not in the right spots. I've done that too, like plenty of times where I actually end up making profit on a trade, but I'm frustrated with my trade because I knew that I got lucky versus actually having a plan of attack. That's happened to me before, and it's funny because there are times where I've actually cut and lost money and felt proud of myself. I was just like, oh wow, a great job managing my risk. You got to give yourself compliments even if you lose money. It's actually pretty important. Okay, so we did get kind of like a hammer candle type thing on this one. We may see a micro trend reversal. I don't think that we're going to see a full-on trend reversal, but we may just get like a quick little turnaround. We got this doji on this little micro flag down here. I'm actually going to go short though. Looking for the entry that I want. Not going to get it. Okay, up 875 on the day. Wonder if I can actually wouldn't it be awesome, dude, if I could just have it to be where I take trades in TOS and it like mirrors that exact same trade in Trade of 8. Wouldn't that be amazing? Ooh, don't rip up, don't rip down. Gonna cut this trade. Time. Yeah, cutting that one. So we lost on that one. Now up 500 on the day. Looks like I could have potentially held it, but it just kept like popping that doji, and with that doji chilling there, I didn't really feel comfortable keeping that trade. Moving over to one tick and just see if we can take advantage of just little micro moves. So if we were to be in the 50K eval and we did one tick moves off 5 contracts, we'd make about $41 per trade off of taking just one tick micro moves. And that would dramatically improve our accuracy. Took a very quick trade on that one. Taking one tick scalps at the moment. Don't like that. I cut it. We actually lost quite a bit on that one. Brought us down to 375. Back up at 500. So, but isn't that 1250 times 4 though? No, not if I took 5 contracts. Then it'd be 1250 times 5. But it would be for the fee on the contract would be $4.36 times 5. So 4.36 times 5 for each contract. It's $21.80 in fees, and it'd be 12.5 times 5, 6,250. So if we do 6,250 and then we minus the 2180, we would pull about 40.7 off of each trade. Isn't that crazy? Tiny, just like how much it can shift off that one. Like honestly, like it didn't even feel like I lost that much, and it was just like it didn't even barely move. But I don't use stop losses, and I know that I should, but also at the same time, like you can't stop loss with scalps. Like stop loss to me, in my opinion, is something that you use more with like a swing trade or something like that, or if you know that you're gonna see like a lot of trending action, then you can put your stop loss. But a lot of times, like if you keep your stop too tight, you'll just get stopped out. If you keep your stop too loose, you won't make money. So it's just you just have to essentially manually do it. 5 seconds left in this candle. All right, new candle here. Is going to be green red. Opening red. Quick, very quick one tick on that. Ooh. That's why I don't like buying at the bottom of the candles. Essentially, they can flip like that. Wow, we lost most of our profit actually on that one. Very clearly trending downward. But it's just, how long does it trend downward before the trend reverses? Market's already lost a huge amount. It's actually like I said, it's really crazy that not more people are talking about this, because the fact of the matter is, we had one of the worst days last Friday that we've had since 2008, and it was just like RIP on the major news networks about it. Very weird, by the way, in my opinion. I have to use stops with this. Yeah, exactly. I was subtracting fees. That's why I'm trying to make sure that whatever every trade that you do in Trade of 8 or whatever, it's gonna be profitable even at one tick. But it's just a matter of how much profit is there. Because if you're taking one contract and you're paying $4.50 in fees, you're only going to make close to $8 or 8 and some change or something like that. So it's you've got to kind of balance, how much it is that you're taking in terms of size versus ticks and stuff like that, because you've got to get to a point to where your fees are a large enough percentage difference to your profit. That way, if you do have one bad trade, it doesn't ruin your whole account. So it's really important, actually. That bounce off that 39.70s area, 39.75. Held support there twice. Hammer candle. Bit of a pullback here. A quick move there, up 250 on the day. Probably gonna call it right there. We did okay. Just trading in the TOS sim. I want to get back to the evaluation, but before I get back to the evaluation, I need to make sure that I reset my mind. My mental reset is so important. It really, really is. I think that if you really have to get down the psychology of trading. It's as important as your trading strategy, if not more. It really, really genuinely is. And I think that the psychology of trading is everything. And frankly, that honestly sounds like something I should really dive extra deep into. But make sure you guys check out the links in the description. Does Elite Trader Funding have a simulator that you can use to get used to? Yes, they do. They do offer a free trial. You cannot earn funding in that free trial, but you can test out software, you can set up your account, everything like that. So it's free for 14 days, and you can use Trade of 8 or Ninja Trader. I may check out some of the other softwares. What if I end up liking the other softwares? Who knows? But yes, they do have a free trial. If you wouldn't mind, though, please use my link if you're going to sign up for a free trial. It's not going to cost you anything, but what it does is it does assign you to me as an affiliate that referred you. So it's not going to pay me anything. It's not going to cost you anything. But essentially, it's that if you decide to get an account in the future, it will make sure that it credits this channel. So I try to make sure that. But don't you have to use their software to trade with? No. You can use Tradeovate. You can use NinjaTrader. You can use Rhythmic. You can use TradingView. You can use a ton of different softwares. Essentially, it's all just an API connection. So you can use whatever software you want that comes with it. The exception, obviously, of TOS. Not allowed to do that. I will when you're ready. Yeah, no worries. Difference between them and TopStep that I fired last year, or tried last. I thought you said fired for whatever reason. Gosh, I wish I could use TOS. Nothing uses TOS except for TOS. Unfortunately, that would be so amazing. Nothing APIs into TOS that I've been able to find from any company anywhere at all. And that's likely because Thinkorswim is, first off, it was purchased for something like $160 million. I don't remember the number, but it was purchased for a lot of money. And by TD Ameritrade. And TD Ameritrade owns that platform, owns that software, and they want TD Ameritrade clients to have access to that software and nobody else. So I've personally not seen anything at all that syncs up with TOS in any way. Unless it's like an algorithmic trader, in which case you would write ThinkScript in order to have an algorithm trade for you on TOS. So, but all the other major softwares out there you can use with lead trader funding. Any of the future-based software, everything from TradingView, they offer they allow you to have I think 5 or 6 different softwares that you can use. I personally chose Tradeovate. I liked that they had a web-based option plus Mac and PC, which I use both of. So if I want to, I can trade on my laptop, which is a Mac. I can trade on my PC, which is a desktop. TOS fees are like twice the price of dedicated features brokers like NinjaTrader, AMP, Tradeovate, etc. ELT, that's really useful information. I've not been able to find a fee schedule on TOS, but I can tell you one thing is that TOS doesn't offer the ability to earn funding in a prop firm like Lead Trader funding or anybody else. And that's so, to use TOS for that type of thing, I think that you would need to put a substantial amount of cash in your account in order to be able to trade on that. But Edge Clear, Tradeovate, AMP, nice. I like that you put all these names in there because honestly, it made it easier for me to just kind of view those things. We need TD Ameritrade to do a funding thing. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that. Personally, don't you have to pay for the softwares? You do not have to pay for Tradeovate. Tradeovate is absolutely free. NinjaTrader is also free when you sign up with Elite Trader Funding. So a bunch of these softwares are free when you sign up with Elite Trader Funding. They essentially cover the software license, part of the billing. So most of that software, like all your additional fees and stuff like that, are just not there. I will say this though, if you want like market depth and a bunch of the other like features, those features may be additional paid features, and I know that they are with Tradeovate, additional paid features. But if you just want the ability to just like get in there and trade, you don't need to pay for that software. It's just included. Yeah, no worries. I totally understand, Tiny. Like, obviously, like, never trade with funds that you don't have the ability to A, lose, and B, trading with, like, with a prop firm and stuff like that, essentially all you're doing is paying for the billing, um, and making sure that you're passing your evaluation, of course. Uh, you can connect them. These are brokers. You can connect them to their data feed to any trading platform. Yeah, exactly. You can connect Elite Trader Funding to a bunch of different bunch of different softwares, and just on their super awesome, by the way, that they check this out. They switched this over to a 5-day thing. So you can actually use promo code JSBest. You get the same deal. And in doing that promo code JSBest, it'll help credit this channel. And also you guys will still get that 50% off for life. But they switched this over to only needing 5 days to do this. So, but if you look here, like it actually says free Ninja Trader license key on evaluation and elite. So when you pay your monthly billing, which you get for 50% off for life, today's the last day for that, by the way, you actually get your software license key and all that stuff is just covered. So personally, I really like these guys as a company, just simply because one of the biggest reasons is because their customer service was very on point. They were quick to respond. They even responded to me on a Sunday within like 10 minutes. So that was really, really valuable to me, to have a company that responded so quickly. So that was really important to me. But yeah, guys, join the mailing list, please. If you guys want to get updates from me, we do updates about the stream when it's coming out. We also will eventually, not yet, but sometime likely in the next 30 days, we'll be also adding in other content there, such as things like mindset, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. I come from a background of entrepreneurship over the last decade or so. Most of that is digital. So, we'll eventually talk about that type of stuff too. I want to diversify this channel to not just be about futures trading, not just be about stocks or investing and stuff like that. I want to diversify into some of the other stuff that I have a lot of expertise in, which is like the digital entrepreneurship side of things, and things like growing brands, developing traffic, and all that type of stuff. So essentially, like, I know that a lot of people now, like when I got into work from home in entrepreneurship and stuff like that, like 10 years ago or something like that, like people were like, oh, you just sit on your computer all day, you don't do nothing, you just, you're a bum at home. And I was like, no, I actually like run a business and website and stuff like that. And they're like, yeah, get a real job. And now everyone's working from home and they're just like, oh, well, how do I make money on the internet? Yeah, so I'll probably diversify into some of that other content as well, just because that's where my background actually is. But make sure you guys sign up for the mailing list. Check out the link in the description if you guys want to get 50% off Elite Trader Funding. Last day for that. Promo code is JSBEST. And lastly, if you guys want to donate directly to the channel, there's a PayPal donation button there that you guys can click on and donate directly if you feel so inclined. Let's see. Just catching up on the chat here, Tiny. After my fees, paper still green. I do wish TOS displayed them for the paper side to help them, the math. Yeah. Tiny, I mean, I don't know what's up with that. It could be that they don't have fees on their stock side of things, and so that's why. But I personally, I just try to do the math. So if you just do just do one trade, and whether you take a profit or a loss, look at your paper account balance first, and then just do, add or subtract what you what the difference is, and then you'll figure out what the fee is. So, and just realize that I personally would do it with one contract, just to make math easier. And lastly, he said here, I bought my own business, and that's the best thing he found. Don't need a license for a shit ton of capital. Shite ton. Don't need a license or a shite ton of capital. Yeah, you don't need a license for a business, by the way, but you do need a like if you do have a business license, typically you would want to do that, like have that, like if you go business unlicensed, you're going to pay the highest tax bracket. You're going to be taxed essentially as a sole proprietorship, and you're opening yourself up to IRS audits. If you were to go, like if you were to start a business, you typically would be more interested in starting a corporation, i.e. like an LLC with like an S election or a C election. Essentially, those are tax classifications. But there's only 3 ways to be taxed in a business. There's a C Corp, S Corp, and a sole proprietorship. There are partnerships as well, but they're taxed as sole proprietorship, cutting whatever equity shares based off of it. So if you have, 3 partners or something like that, and plus yourself, then each of you are taxed 25% at the sole proprietorship level. And sole proprietorship is by far the most expensive tax bracket that really exists. I mean, you're taxed just on everything. So really you'd want to, like, if you are going to set up a business, something like that, not advice, I'm not a CPA, so, obviously do your own research, but typically you want to look at like a S Corp or some sort of like pass-through entity where you aren't necessarily looking at your revenue as your profits, but instead you could deduct out all of your costs and everything like that, and you could pay yourself a dividend plus a salary and have a blended tax rate that is significantly more reduced than even if you're working W-2. So, by the way, did I tell you I got kind of like tax nerdy about my business taxes? That was because my very first business was in Washington State, and I was paying incredibly high taxes because I was set up as a sole proprietorship, and I was paying like $3,000 a quarter in taxes. It was just insane. In learning more about the tax code, learning more about the S Corps or the C Corps really helped me tremendously understand the tax implications of owning any business at any level. Even if you don't have employees, you absolutely could be Washington sucks for Texas. You absolutely could have the capability of taking advantage of a lot of tax information, not loopholes. Somebody once told me this, like during my time as entrepreneurship, I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to hang out with quite a few 7, 8, and even 9-figure earners. One of them once said to me, "There's no such thing as a tax loophole. There's only tax information." He said, "Only broke people call them loopholes." And I was like, huh, interesting. It's like, because the tax code is designed essentially to be a maze. And if you can figure out, what pieces of paper, more or less, you need in order to set up, you can save yourself a insane amount of money by simply educating yourself and having that information available to you. Let's see. Yeah, enlighten me on how the tax and business thing works. I really want a small cafe, but just couldn't put it together. Tiny. If you want a small cafe, first off, look into if your small cafe is it's a local business, so you'd have to be licensed in the state that you operate within. So if you're in Washington State, you'd have to get a Washington LLC. You'd want to pay for the LLC. It's like $200 in Washington, last I checked. But then after you pay for the LLC, you can essentially go on IRS's website. You can choose a tax classification that will save you all that money. But if you don't choose that tax classification, you'll pay a sole proprietorship, which is by far the most expensive tax anybody pays in the country, hands down. So the B&O tax is one of the stupidest ones. Here, I'll put this up here. B&O tax is one of the stupidest ones out there. My aunt and uncle schooled me on that one. Yeah, B&O tax is one of the most expensive ones. However, what I actually ended up paying the most for when I had my business in Washington State was the accounting service in order to figure out things like the B&O tax and whatnot. The B&O tax really actually is not too terribly bad in Washington State, but I also when I was younger, like, gosh, man, this is like 14 years ago. Yeah, because I started it right as the economy crashed. Was when I started my business, and it was I think for me one of the most challenging things about operating within Washington State was that I needed to file taxes every 3 months, every quarter. That was one of the most challenging things for me in Washington. Was just a consistent like tick in my head where I couldn't like always like be focused on my business. I had to consistently like focus on taxes. Am I still here? North of Wenatchee, Okanagan. Yeah, I thought you were over by OMAC. Stupid estimated taxes. But yeah, like if you're operating a digital business, one of the things that's great about that is that you have the capability of really setting up just about anywhere, provided that you're providing service to the whole country. So like if you're a digital business, you can look at places like Delaware or Nevada or Wyoming that have a lot of tax opportunities. Again, guys, I am not a CPA. I am not a certified public accountant. I cannot provide tax advice. This is simply my experience, and this is what I've found, what I've seen to be something of value. And just the more information you can, the more you can educate yourself on the tax code. And it's really not that challenging. They word it weird, but if you can get past the wording and kind of understand what they're talking about, you'll be able to just save a lot of money just off basic stuff. I actually would really like to get educated in the real estate tax area, and go heavy into real estate, especially like if you look at billionaires, like people like Michael Burry, Bill Gates, and stuff like that. They're buying farmland like just insane amounts, like thousands upon thousands of acres. They're buying huge amounts of farmland, and real estate is one of the most tax advantaged classes that exists. So that's an area that I would really like to go heavy in my life if I can get that opportunity. So I'd really like to push heavily on that side of things. So I had a recording business here in the good old Evergreen States. I never had any business, or we never had any business, so I avoided all of them. Wow. Yeah, if you're in an offline business situation, you definitely need to be licensed in the state that you're operating within, especially if you're in California or something like that. Like California is like stickler for taxes, so it's just different strokes for different states. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. This was quite an interesting thing. By the way, that's one of the reasons why I went towards futures, was because the taxes are just better on futures versus stocks. Like if you look at them, you can do like a blended tax rate type thing with them and save a ton of money on the future side versus on the stock side. It's just interesting to think about, like, different ways to profit. Essentially, one thing I learned in my very first business is there are two ways to add income. You can reduce expenses or you can increase sales. either way, or I should say increase revenue. Reduce expenses or increase revenue. Or the best way is the combination of both. If you can reduce expenses while increasing revenue, then you're golden. And by the way, revenue is not the same thing as net profits. Most people don't seem to know the difference, and I don't know why, but maybe it's just lack of experience. So always learning from you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy I can just provide some value here. We actually, my wife a long time ago actually made a course on helping entrepreneurs set up their business licenses and everything like that. It's a complete walkthrough of all that type of stuff. So, and it breaks down the taxes in the whole. And it breaks down essentially what a blended tax rate is. It breaks down how saving, how when you're paying yourself in a S corp versus a C corp versus sole proprietorship, and how those wages get broken down and why you end up paying a different tax rate. And one of the biggest reasons is because when you pay wages, you have to pay you as the employee, if you work for a company, typically pay 7.65% in federal income tax wages, but the employer pays the other 7.65%. So if you earn 100K a year or something like that, you're paying 7.65% on that, but the employer is also paying 7.65% as well. So they're covering their half, if you will, of the 15.3% that the government requires of your income. So when you're in a business, when you have an LLC, like an S corp or something like that, you can essentially pay your wages less and then pay yourself a dividend, provided that you're paying yourself a reasonable wage, which is what the IRS defines as what you're supposed to pay yourselves. A reasonable wage. And one of the things that people have found, because they don't define what a reasonable wage is essentially you have to pay yourself a reasonable wage based off the industry that you're in. And if your industry is earning an average of 100K a year or something like that, you'd want to be close to your industry average, but it depends a lot on what the business revenue is. And one of the things that we also found throughout our years of experience is that if you pay yourself roughly 30% of your net profits in a wage, it typically seems to satisfy that requirement. But the rest of it, the extra money that is left over, the extra net that is left over, can be paid in a dividend. And because it's paid in a dividend, if you know about dividend investing and stocks and stuff like that, dividends are tax advantaged. So you're paying less on your overall blended tax rate, because remember, if you own your own business, you have to pay both employer and employee tax on the wages. So you're paying, instead of if you're a W-2 employee, you're paying that 7.65% while your employer pays the other 7.65%. But if you own your own business, you're paying the full 15.3 on all the wages that you pay. So if you pay yourself less in wages and pay the remainder in a dividend, which is what the pass-through income is all about, then you're paying that dividend at a flat rate, and it's a flat rate based off of what dividends are normally paid on, which are often considered ordinary income or other more tax advantage incomes. So that's how you can end up reducing your tax liability when you have an S corp or something like that. And it's the same way with futures as well. You can essentially pay what you take off the table ends up becoming a blended tax rate up to a certain dollar amount. Just catching up here. Degreasing expenses may be easier. Degreasing expenses? What do you mean with that? And right, they don't know the difference between them. Yeah, Tiny, I didn't mean to go off on this tirade about taxes and stuff like that, but it is an area that I do have a lot of expertise in. I'm not a certified public accountant. I am not providing tax advice, so Can't type to that. So take all this information into your own research, of course. But this has just been my experience, and what uh, what 7, 8, and 9 figure earners were actually able to instill upon me in their own wisdom. And I actually had a friend of mine that he was earning like 280K or something like that in his business, and he was like, gotta pay these crazy taxes, and his tax bill was like huge, like it was close to 6 figures. And I was like, yo, well, how are you structured, dude? And we ended up having him set up an LLC with S corp, and he saved like 55 grand in his taxes. It's just crazy. So just food for thought. So and it's the same, like Tiny, you called trading a business. It is a business, and you have to look at it as such. And in looking at it as such, like you do want to look at other things, like look at what are your tax liabilities of all this. What are the tax liabilities of futures trading versus stock trading? Look that stuff up and learn it. Because if you plan to be a 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever your number is in your head of what you want trading to be for you, you're going to want to know that type of information. I know that it could just be hey, I'll just hire an accountant to do those things, but the reality of it is that like anything that you have to hire out for, or that if you don't know enough information about, it's very easy to get taken advantage of. I happen to know, so I develop websites. I still do. It's something I've been doing for a decade. And when I was kind of new at it, I had developed a website or two, and but I didn't know how to really make a really good website. So I contacted a web development firm, and they wanted to charge me like $500 to do things that I know take 5 minutes. And so it was just kind of like me just knowing that, knowing what they were charging me for was just where I was just kind of like, wow, I need to probably just learn this on my own, because I'm going to end up paying through the nose for stuff that is just basic, very basic. And so, I think it's just, I think it's really important to just know what your goal is and know what your outcome is, and focus on becoming a professional in that arena. So far in the last year, I had no gains and no taxes. I want at least 60 to 70 grand cleared in my overall goal. Okay, 60 to 70K cleared. So you need to be looking at 5K a month. Or broken down with 255 trading days in a year. Essentially that would give you your profit target off of 60K, $235 a day. So, which is doable. I've done that in the futures market plenty of times. So it's pretty doable. I think you can do it, Tanya. I believe in you. I think that getting it down to that rock solid strategy, making $40 a tick on the 50K eval might not be such a bad gig. So if you're essentially looking to make, we'll call it 250 for basic math, and divide that by the 40, you essentially need to make 6 to 7 trades a day that are profitable off of 5 contracts at one tick. So, speaking of which, I'm just gonna jump back in here to the charts. So we did get a trend reversal. That's the one that we were looking at there. Our high of the day was 875, so we obviously fell pretty heavily off of that. Let's see. Join the bid here. Take a quick trade up. I'm gonna move this to 3 ticks. So it actually rejected right off of that resistance and support level, getting the cyan switch. Doji at the top, which you guys know that I don't like. Join the bid off that doji, looking for 3 ticks to the upside. Not sure if we're gonna get that though. Probably should have gone short. Absolutely should have gone short. Wow. Cut that one there. Lost 250 and put ourselves flat on the day. Guess I didn't have to cut that one. Up 187.50 on the day now. There we go, up 375 on the day. I wanted to get that pullback. It just happened. Certainly pull back more than I wanted it to. Cut it out there. Now up 6,250 on the day, you know. So it's like up and down. So yeah. All right. Flat better than red, yeah. Yeah, rejecting you up. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and shut it down there, guys. And again, check out the links in the description. If you guys want to earn funding in the futures market, check out Elite Trader Funding. There's a link in the description right there. Today is the very last day that you can get 50% off for life on any of the offerings that they have there, with the exception of the fast track evaluations. But you know, absolutely ton of value there. Way cheaper. Way less expensive than what is also available in the market. You may want to check them out. Again, the software is free to use, and it just comes with your plan. So thanks so much, guys. Love and appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.